Good evening, everyone. Welcome to FGM eCast, and it is Monday night. We're back with the ANZCAR Truck Series tonight here, and we're out at Michigan. Getting into things tonight, I'm flying solo, Carl Withy, with real-world things to do tonight. So it is just me on the airways. Back here at, well, not back here, but here at Michigan for the first time in Season 2. After a fantastic finish last week with, if you haven't seen it, that basically 6 cars on the last lap able to win that race at Nashville. Gary Wellman coming out on top, winning that one. Couple faded away with no fuel, and a couple got taken out towards the end there in the desperation to try and win that race. But a cracking finish there last week. And I can tell you, there's a tight contest at the top at the moment as well here. Gary Wellman, race winner from last week, currently fastest in practice. Michael Skurlock, the man who is just down on the inside of the track there, just testing out the durability of the infield. He's running a new livery tonight. I'm not sure what's going on with that one. We'll have a closer look at that during the night. But he has dressed that 350 up in something slightly different. We'll get through that as we get through the proceedings tonight. So let's go through and have a look at the current standings in this Truck Championship. I can tell you it's Edward Foster who retained the lead of this series after last week. There is a little bit of adjustment to do there, but he's on 229 points. Jason Martin jumped 4 spots up into second, 202 with Daniel Heddersheed down 1 in 3. We've got Josh Micklemore in 4 with Nathan Clark in 5. Christopher Finlay up 2 spots into 6th. Matty Raymond in 7th. He dropped 3 spots to be just in front of James Robbie, who also dropped a position. Gary Wellman with his win jumped up in to 9th, and we've got Norm Clark rounding out the top 10. So a good mix there, and it's very close at the moment. Jason Martin 202, Daniel Heddersheed 197, and Josh Micklemore 196. And then you've got 87, 86, and 83 for Clark, Finlay, and Raymond respectively, and even James Robbie there on 79. So very tight at the top here as we head into the second half of Season 2 2021. So this is round 7. In fact, we're just over halfway starting tonight. 12 rounds in this championship. We've got Kentucky, Indianapolis, then we have Martinsville, Rockingham, and Phoenix, I believe it is, to conclude Season 2. So at the halfway point, Edward Foster currently leading. He is running tonight. Just down onto the infield there. I think that may have been a one Ryan Jones in the 111 entry, just pushing the limit. So still plenty to play for here at the halfway point. Lots of people moving up the field. It was announced as well, speaking of movements during the week, that in joining Aidan Schultz, we had the independent driver, or should we say solo driver of Ruben Phelps. He's jumped into the team there as well at Crank Esports. So they've bolstered their rank for this season. So Ruben, for the first time tonight, running in the Crank Esports colours. Just refreshing on the screen there. I thought we would catch it, but we haven't quite. But yeah, Ruben running for the first time tonight in the Crank Esports colours, joining his now teammate Aidan Schultz, who's currently running 5th in practice. So a strong practice session so far for those two boys running inside the top 10. But as we know, qualifying can be a real leveler in this series, and a strong qualifying performance very important for getting things done. Turtle Tross, thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate you jumping in tonight. And if you are new to the stream, do give us a follow or a subscribe wherever you're at. We are trying to build our audience on YouTube, so if you're jumping across there, definitely appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications as well so you know when we go live. We are live 4 nights a week at the moment. Normally on a Tuesday night as well, but Tuesday is off, but coming back very, very shortly. We're heading very quickly to the start of another Oz Pro-Am Sim Series season 4, and it's building very nicely indeed, so do stick around for that one and hit those buttons so you know when we're on stream. We've got plenty of business here to do for ANZCAR in the truck series tonight, and we've just got a few minutes to go here in practice before we get things underway. So Gary Wellman out on track at the moment. As I said, last week's race winner in what was a thrilling finish. Probably the closest finish I think we've called in trucks here. Plenty of action on the last lap. So we'll just roll out through the rest of practice here and see how these drivers fare, and we'll get straight into qualifying. So just jump on board with a couple of them now and have a look at how they're handling things here. So we are at Michigan tonight for round 7. As Kate Donnelly just gets down on the infield there, just pulling the truck up to jump out of it. So just going to let things move around here for a couple of minutes. And we'll be right back with you to get into qualifying in around about 3 minutes' time. Alrighty, we're about to get into qualifying here. We've got 5 minutes as usual. It is solo lap here, and Ryan Wooden looks like he is the first out on track, so we're going to jump on board with him tonight. He's in the 195 Chevrolet entry. Just waiting for him to get out on track in the Fork and Q beef jerky entry. Read into that what you will. And he will be about to get underway. If it doesn't jump out soon, we will jump on board with somebody else. He's just not quite ready to leave pit lane. And it sounds like he's off and running. There he goes. So we don't have Carl here tonight to do his usual cockpit lap around the track. So we're going to do our best here at Michigan. To be brutally honest, it's the I think the first time we've run here under our commentary. So we'll try and do what we can. In fact, it will be the second time here. So jump on board with Nate Ryan and let him take us for a lap around. So Ryan here gets underway on his first flying lap. To be building up the speed here. Expect to see his second lap, probably the faster of the two. Bring that dashboard up on screen there, you can see 280. He's going to probably get close to touching 300k an hour here. 292 before he gets to the turn in. Be flat to the boards here tonight, particularly in the draft. Just controlling it there, out to the wall. Chucking a few Ks as he heads across the line to get his first lap out of the way. How does he fare? Not too bad. He's done a 41 flat there. Currently provisional pole Jaden Russell with a 40 flat. So he's got a little bit of work to do there, but he's got plenty of time to get it done in our 80 lap feature race tonight. Before we get in too far. So it is Russell, Martin Mickelmore at the moment, your provisional top three. Ryan Wooden's time's just dropping down the list a little bit. That's okay. It's a plenty long race, and we've seen plenty of drivers start towards the rear of the field and take out the win here in the ANZCAR Truck Series. As he comes across the line now to finish his second lap. He will improve on it, I believe. Move himself up the field. And he just slightly does a 40.78, so that ends out Ryan Wooden's qualifying. We'll switch over here now to Dave Douglas, Uncle Double D, in the Rowdy Energy entry. Dave currently moved himself up the championship, just sitting outside the top 10 at the moment in his return to iRacing, and doing a good job, just building nice and slowly, get himself back in. He had a good performance last week, finishing 5th in the truck race. So stick on board here as he comes across the line. He's just going through the last corner here, and he'll make his way through to complete his first lap. About half a dozen drivers so far who haven't completed their flying laps. As Uncle Double D just jumps in with a 40.5. Second flying lap's the one to look out for. Luke Hare as well on his second flying lap. We've got Michael Skurlock out on his first lap. Brent Hobbs hasn't done a run yet. Neither's Riley Curtis, Mike Schroeder or Dwayne Priest. They're all drivers yet to attempt to qualify. It is Russell, Martin and Mickelmore as your top three at the moment. Steve Williams done a good job. He's currently sitting in 4th provisionally, and he hasn't had the best time qualifying of late, Steve, so he'll be pretty happy with that. Of course, our incumbent series champion in the 98 entry. Dave Douglas brings this across the line. It's going to be an improvement. Screen sector's there. Looks like he does a 40.23, jumps up into 13th place. Aaron Dillon, if you don't mind, just jumps up in front of him. Michael Skurlock in the Castrol liveried 350. He is now getting around doing his second flying lap. He's done a 40.82. Second lap's going to be faster. I reckon he's going to finish somewhere in the early 40s. Jump himself up inside the top 15 here. He is green in that first half a lap. Let's see how he finishes it out with 21 to go. He's going to get this one done. He will be the last of our qualifiers to finish a lap, and I reckon it's going to jump him up. Just cuts across the apron there to shorten the track, as you quite rightly can do, and finishes out that lap with a 40.26. So currently sitting in 19th position as we get through to close out the end of qualifying. here for round 7 of the ANZCAR Truck Series. So let's wait for it to flick over. There it does so quickly, and we will jump into our grid for this race. So round 7 here. Let's go through the race setup as it is. Jaden Russell, and Jason Martin, and Jason Martin, who are on the front row of the grid tonight. We've got Josh Micklemore, Steve Williams off row 2 with Schultz and Hedersheed off row 3, Nathan Clark and Nigel Patton off row 4 with Edward Foster and Ryan Jones off row 5. Look out for the fireworks there with Clark and Vickers off row 6. So we flick over the page. It is going to be Dylan and Douglas with Perry Anastakis and James Robbie off row 8. We've got Lachlan Urquio and Aaron Hatton off 9 with Skirley and Kate Donnelly off row 10. Gary Wellman and Ruben Phelps off 11 with Maddie Raymond and Mick Taylor off row 12. Then as we flick over the page, it is Luke Trahere, Tristan Cock off row 13 with Rawlick and Hoppert off 14. We've got Ryan Wooden and Mark Johannesson off row 15 with Mike Schroeder and Brent Hobbs off 16, and Riley Curtis and Dwayne Priest to round out our 34 starters for this round of the ANZCAR Truck Series on FGM eCast. Let's have a look from the blimp here at this field as it does get out onto the track. Just give you an idea on how big it is. So we move the camera a little bit further down, just have a look here, a bit further away. Looking over the pits, not a bad view here. Reminds me a little bit actually of the infield at Phillip Island in Victoria, if you're familiar with it. It's very, very similar look. Actually, a couple of pit buildings and what have you behind the racetrack, but we're just waiting for a couple of the drivers to fall in. Michael Skurlock, Dwayne Priest about to jump out on track. In fact, it looks like potentially Michael Skurlock may have missed the start here. In fact, he has. So if at all, Skirley will be starting from pit lane, as will Dwayne Priest. But it is going to be Jaden Russell leading us away. Jaden, relatively new entrant into the category. A very, very strong performer, however. So watch out for him up the front tonight. Hobbo, his teammate, has taken out a couple of wins here. Not at this track, but in the ANZCAR series. Not currently running tonight. But, keep an eye on Jaden, see if he can take out the win. Of course, Jason Martin, a stalwart. You could call him one of the pillars of the ANZCAR series in the Mitch Motorsport 21 entry. Currently starting off second position. He's got his teammate in Josh Micklemore, who had been a bridesmaid for a little bit. He's into a bit of a vein of form, as we like to say. He's currently in third, so those two will work together here. Steve Williams in fourth in that new livery. In fact, he's not running the old Batmobile livery here tonight. He's running GM Parts Now sponsorship on the 98. Aidan Schultz, Daniel Hedersheed. We've got Nathan Clark, Edward Foster, Nigel Patton and Norm Clark, Foster's teammate, rounding out our top 10 here. It's going to be a quick start to this one. Under the control of Jaden Russell, waiting for the pace car to peel off and get us underway. That is your field. Round 7, Series 2, 2021 of the ANZCAR Truck Series. I tell you what, the stewards won't like it if they don't close up that back of grid. As we pace truck pulls in, we're getting ready to go here. We're at the control of Jaden Russell, waiting for those lights to go green before we go racing. And Russell's dropping the hammer now, and he is off and running. I tell you what, the Mitch Motorsport boys are right on it tonight. 21 to Jason Martin, Josh Micklemore in the 31, going right with him. And in fact, Aidan Schultz as well, getting a cracking start there behind the 31 of Josh Micklemore. Micklemore looking to take advantage here of the start and the draft that he's got there. Jason Martin left out a little bit to dry there on the start, but it's been a clean one with 3 wide, 4 wide in the backpack as well. So keep an eye on that to see if there's anything that develops there. But at the moment, look at this start that we've got here from the Mitch Motorsport boys. Pressure on Jaden Russell early on in this one. So just showing there, it is going to be 80 laps tonight. Lap 1 of 80, and Aidan Schultz as well, putting the gas up behind Josh Micklemore as Jason Martin comes down and closes that out now and assumes second position here. So it is Russell, Martin and Micklemore at the end of lap 1 with Schultz and Hedersheed getting good starts up one position respectively. I tell you what, Teddy's got a good start. It's double D, Dave Douglas. He's up 6 spots now. Already up into 8th, looking like he's meaning business tonight. in the Rowdy Motorsport entry. Tell you what, he'll be getting rowdy in the podium if he gets it done after that. It's very early on to call that, though, at the moment. And you can see Jaden Russell here doing a great job at 28. Very, very tidy looking unit. Along with Jason Martin in the 21. So good stuff from both of them. Aiden Schultz impressive up into third early. As usual here, tyre management going to be the key. That right-hand front's going to cop an absolute pounding here at Michigan. See if there's a second line that develops. Schultz gets a little wide there, but knows what he's doing. So it is Schultz, followed by Mickelmore, Daniel Hedersheet, Steve Williams, Ryan Jones making some big moves as well. As we move back a little bit further down the pack, you can see him there just on the outside of Dave Douglas. And that newly painted Steve Williams entry, the 98. GM Parts now entry. So he'll be going to keep the paint clean on that. And I tell you what, Nigel Patton, another good start from him. He's in ninth. Nigel's had a couple of good runs of late in the truck series, so he'll be looking to consolidate that. Foster lost one spot off the start. James Robbie down 5 spots. Up 5 spots, my apologies, from the start as well. So he's enjoying a good start to this one here, but things up the front continue to tighten. You can see here Aiden Schultz just having a look. He's stuck the nose down the inside of 52 on Jason Martin, and it looks like he might get it done. He's got a good entry speed here, and just pushing it a little bit there. Martin gets high as well and just slots down in front. Oh, great move there by Martin just to do the shift 2 lanes between Jaden Russell and Aiden Schultz, if you don't mind. He's got a good run on here. Looks like he's going to take the lead of this race early on, 5 laps in of the 80. And what a great move that was there from Jason Martin, showing his experience, just sliding the truck down in between the race leader and Aiden Schultz, and now assumes a position at the front of this pack. Ryan Jones down on the inside at the moment. He's trying to make some stuff happen down there, deciding that he probably needs to throw a little bit of caution into his racing here, as that's Edward Foster splitting down the middle there as well as he tries to make some moves here. He's up 1 position now. He's got that over Steve Williams. He's just dropped back a little bit here. He's been mobbed a little bit. Steve, he's dropped 5 positions. James Robbie's still up 6, but Dave Douglas, biggest mover so far. Look at him go there. He's on the back of Schultz, sticking the nose out behind him, saying, mate, I'll crank your esports if you like. And the Rowdy entry. Aiden's doing a good job though. Got to be careful not to get caught watching in the rearview mirror here. It's very early on. Josh Mickelmore underneath at the moment. I know Josh can drive. He'll know what to do here. It's just managing his race. Foster looking very speedy at the moment. He's got some good pace in the 53 entry. He's down on the inside there with 4 wide. Let a look at that. 4 wide going down across the start-finish line. Start lap 7. And this group here continues to widen. Of course, they're all going to hold one another up. This plays quite well into Martin Schultz and Russell's hands at the front of the pack. And Ryan Jones there gets a little bit high, a little bit loose, has to just pull out of it. Ed Foster down the inside still as this battle continues for 4th spot. Dave Douglas closing ever so slightly up onto the back of this lead pack as Schultz looks like he's about to get the job down underneath Aiden Russell. I should say Jaden Russell, my apologies, Jaden. Makes it hard when we've got Jaden and Aiden competing against one another, but it should be better than that. So we'll tune ourselves back up again as Dave Douglas, as I said, joins up onto the back of Aiden Schultz again. He's brought Josh Mickelmore with him, Edward Foster behind him, Daniel Hedersheet, James Robbie and Ryan Jones all in this, if you pardon me. In fact, even more. This pack is huge. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen, as we get down into the turn. We've got 3 wide battling for 3rd place. It's let Martin and Russell duck ahead here, and on that you've got Mickelmore, Schultz and Dave Douglas battling away. There's 2 behind him. Oh, I can tell you what, Daniel Hedersheet gets a great run out of that one. He's right up behind Aiden Schultz as well. Edward Foster down the inside. He's been a big gainer from that, and look who's got the run. Ryan Jones, if you don't mind, right up on the back of Edward Foster. They're going to go down the inside and try and get the job done. And it looks like Edward Foster's done that there. Schultz has dropped a couple of places just in that battle pack there. And James Robbie, the benefactor, up 11 spots now. Same as Dave Douglas, doing a fantastic job here at the start of the race. Only 9 laps in. And have a look at this battle pack in the middle here. We've got literally a dozen cars or more fighting out for positions 5 and onwards as Edward Foster's down underneath. James Robbie there. And then you've got the triple of Clark, Jones and Schultz. Jones just backs that up a little bit there into the turn. Schultz is down underneath him, and you can see as well there, just down on the bottom of your screen, that we've got Dave Douglas and Josh Micklemore going at it. Dave Douglas having to defend, and even up at the front there, Jason Martin, I can hear some damage down in the background. And we do have our first caution for the night. So it looks there like it's Ruben Phelps who's got in there with the 90 of Nigel Patton. So we didn't quite get hold of that one. We've actually lost a little bit of our software for tonight, so we'll make the best of it while we can. But that Crank Esports 06 entry of Ruben Phelps looking a little bit second-hand after that event, unfortunately. Anyway, what we've got here now is everyone in pit lane at the same time. Why not? Get things done, tyres, fuel and the like, and get back out there, and we'll head back under green flag in a couple of laps time. Get this race back underway. What a start we had. Dave Douglas there with a ripping run, up 11 spots. James Robbie up 11 spots as well. So this is going to benefit them. Potentially might have used their tyres a little hard getting through the pack, but it doesn't matter anymore because everyone is going to be on a brand new set of rubber, fully fueled as well. So we need to go racing, and it will be like it once was when we first started the race. So we're going to be a little bit limited on the replays here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, but we will kick on without them. We'll keep our best eye on things as we can. It's not quite working for us tonight, but that's okay. We'll keep pushing on regardless, and as you can see, there's Jason Martin out the front of this race, Jaden Russell keeping him company. As we're forming up here, getting ready to go green. See the pack just forming up there. Biggest jump so far, Dave Douglas, followed by James Robbie, 10 and 11 spots. Riley Curtis, in fact, also up 17 positions. A good start for Riley. Looks like there's some damage maybe to Perry Anastakis and Michael Skurlock's trucks as a result of that incident that we didn't quite get to see. Both have jumped back through pit lane again to get repairs done. And we'll get back on racing in just a corner or so's time. moment, current championship leader Edward Foster sitting in 5th position. He's had a strong start. He's got James Robbie, who's pacey with him. Ryan Jones behind that as the pace truck makes its way down into pit lane. And we're at the control of Jason Martin, who's done this once or twice before, and he drops the hammer. Martin gets away really well, and I tell you what, Russell and Mickelmore get a good start with him. Dave Douglas misses that one a little bit. You can see it's the Mitch Motorsport boys who go together now down on that bottom line. They're going to try and hold Jaden Russell up there and get the benefit if they can. Behind them, Dave Douglas is on that high line. Edward Foster trying to get under him. Ryan Jones, Aidan Schultz, James Robbie, Steve Williams, Nathan Clark rounding out your top 10 as Douglas moves up into that higher line. Foster will want to try and close him out and keep him up there if he can. And our championship leader manages to do just that. So Douglas on the outside line, but it is Martin from Russell and Mickelmore at our front three. Foster jumps on the train. You see Douglas there about to get held out a little bit to dry. He's going to lose a couple of spots as Foster gets down underneath Mickelmore. Oh no, Russell gets really loose. Looks like he's managed to move it down onto the infield and not cause an incident. Looks like it was a single car incident as well. Like it just got a little bit loose and it broke on him mid-corner. And what that's done is it's created this pack here as everyone bunched up like they're at the car park on Christmas Eve, the local shopping centre. And now it's Foster who's into 2nd place, and there's a group behind. This could be dangerous. You've got Dave Douglas trying to get down underneath Foster here in the 199 entry. The 111 of Ryan Jones on the outside with Mickelmore behind him. You've also got Aidan Schultz involved in that one too. So this battle pack once again reignites. Fastest on track at the moment, Steve Williams, done a 40 flat. Faster by 3/10 than anyone else on the last lap around. And these guys here will continue holding themselves up. Foster's just opened a slight gap. That'll get dragged in now. Albeit Foster heads to the apron. Ryan Jones goes with him. Jones got a fantastic run. Has to move up into that high line to make sure he can maintain momentum. Josh Mickelmore goes with him with Aidan Schultz. That Douglas on the low line. Schultz there just has to pull out a little wide. And he's going to lose a lot of pace there. As he's just, I think, a little bit concerned about James Robbie. Maybe just came into his vision late on there, and he had to take some evasive action as Foster loses the position here to Mickelmore and Jones. They're working together on that high line. Jones moves down into the lone line with Foster behind him, and it is Mickelmore who's now looking to join onto the train and lock out Foster. Lap 17 as they head down to the apron. Mickelmore there's just got to be careful. Foster's just below him. Experienced enough just to know to let up a little bit there, Foster. There's Jones is now up on the back of Martin. Dave Douglas all over James Robbie like a cheap suit at the moment. He's gone right onto the back of him. He's moved into the high line, in fact, so he's going to get that move done. Douglas round the outside, and number 6, Nathan Clark, goes with him as well in the Racewise sponsored entry. Aidan Schultz trying to make up those positions with Steve Williams on the low line behind James Robbie. They're just dropping a few places here as they've lost out with the momentum, trying to close them out. As now we've got a lead pack of 4 cars battling out. Still Jason Martin in front, but Mickelmore and Jones battling away here. Mickelmore gets up behind his teammate, Mitch Motorsport, entry 31, up behind the 21. You can see there, Mickelmore will be looking if he can just to close the nose on Ryan Jones, and he does just that. So now the Mitch boys 1 and 2 will be able to work together here to try and push away from the pack. Mickelmore's got a good run down the inside of Martin. That's probably just a swap there to help out. Martin will try and close down the inside. And he's not quite far enough in front, Mickelmore, to let him do that. Ed Foster's got other ideas down on the inside along with Ryan Jones. They've still got plenty of history. I can tell you what, Ed will be having one eye out the side of his head, so will Ryan Jones, just to make sure that those two stay separate. But Jones has got a bit of pace on here, and we know he doesn't hold back. He's plenty aggressive when it comes to trying to make the manoeuvres and get that truck, the 111 entry, up to the front of the pack. But he's got the Mitch Motorsport boys to deal with, who are driving fantastically well. The seas part, but Jones not quite able to jump in there. Dave Douglas now right on the back of Edward Foster in this battle to join this leading pack. Those two working together. You can see Schultz behind down the inside of Nathan Clark as well. They're going to jump on here, so we're going to have a pack of 6 trucks. 7 trucks even. Matt's letting me down yet again on lap 21. We're heading towards lap 22 as Douglas gets a bit loose. Gets down on the inside there, but he's still got a good run actually. Whether or not he was avoiding Foster, he might have had to get out of it a little bit. But Nathan Clark goes down the inside. Aidan Schultz now back on the rear quarter of the 53. FGM E-Cast entry, if you don't mind. Of course, running for Natari Autosports. Always makes our job a little bit easier to promote ourselves when the drivers are doing what they need to do. Edward Foster, an absolute stalwart of doing that. As you can see here, there's been a pass at the front. Ryan Jones now in the lead of this race, 22 laps down. Ahead of Jason Martin, Josh Micklemore, Dave Douglas now up into 4th position. Riley Curtis still the biggest mover of the field. Riley up 21 spots, currently sitting in 13th position. But it is Ryan Jones at the front of this pack. What a start to this motor race we've had. It has been non-stop action. Aside of the caution period, these battle packs have just formed away. Tell you what, Edward Foster dropped back a few positions there as well. He lost that out of that battle pack. Must have just had to get out of it. Nathan Clark under pressure from Aidan Schultz. Looked like Dave Douglas there just got up a little bit into the wall, trying to join onto the back of this lead pack again, as it is Jones, Martin, Micklemore, Douglas, our top 4 drivers. There's a tissue between them all. Nathan Clark and Aidan Schultz battling away for 5th and 6th. Jaden Russell looking like he wants to get into the back of this pack. Ed Foster a little bit of no man's land at the moment, but he'll close that back up. Might have just overheated the tyres a little bit there. Not quite sure. Didn't see what happened. Don't crucify us, Ed, if we've got it wrong. I'm still learning. As Gary Wellman, the 45's up onto the back of James Robbie. We've also got the 77 of Ben Vickers getting involved. Steve Williams there as well. And Riley Curtis, fastest man on track at the moment, and up 21 positions. How's that for an early day's work? 24 laps through this one. You can see Kate Donnelly jumping onto the back of him as well. Luke Trahere as well. He's moved up 9 positions, currently running in 16th. As you can see there's just a whole heap of... I don't know what to describe it as in the background there, but there's a whole heap of it. Whatever it is, Trahere's actually missing a door on that one. He's on the Way Down sponsored entry, a podcast run by Luke Trahere. If you're interested in MME and all those sorts of things, he does that podcast series himself. So jump on to wherever you stream your podcast from and have a listen to that. As we've got Mr. Sheen there, Matty Raymond down on the inside as well. He's trying to get a job done underneath Mark Johansson. Looks like he's going to get it done. We've got Michael Skurlock in the background there as well. He's actually a lap down, trying to get himself back up onto the front of this one. And up the front, looks like there might be another change for the lead here. There's pressure coming, mounting on Ryan Jones. So then the Simboys entries jumps into pit lane, but it's still this 21-31 Mitch Motorsport lockout on the low line, 111 entry. And you can see here, they're just trying to box him. Dave Douglas, there's nothing illegal about it. They're trying to keep him up in that high line. Force him to try and do something here. He's going to do the big switcheroo down the inside line. Not like what Jason Martin did earlier there. Cuts the gap between the two and gets the run on here. And it'll be Dave Douglas who moves into the lead of this race for the first time tonight. Ryan Jones there, still doing a good job to hold with him, so he's on the outside line. He's got a wheel's worth of fender in his view. Douglas goes right down onto the apron here to cut as much out of the track as he can, get a run on. Ryan Jones resumes the lead here. You think Douglas might hold out, but I can tell you now, Jason Martin and Josh Micklemore trying to push behind there as Jones closes the door, regains the lead of the motor race. Martin doing well on the outside. Micklemore moves now up into 2nd position. Aidan Schultz bearing down on this pack. I can tell you again, once they start battling like they are now, it closes it up for everyone behind them. They'll be thankful. And they have plenty of green flag territory to go here if it does remain green. Everyone fueled up on lap 11, changed to a new set of boots as well. So the racing here is going to be quite entertaining for a little while yet before we start to see some drop-offs, some people maybe altering strategies. Could be a time where they're going to have to pit under green as well, so very, very tight at the front here. Looks like there's no real preferred line developing on the track either. Driver's able to stick it a little bit high, still stick in with this battle pack. Mickelmore gets a run here on the outside of Ryan Jones. Jones just closes him out again. Jason Martin's just dropped back a little bit. Maybe just having a look at what's going on here. Wants to stick with the lead. He's got Dave Douglas to work with on the outside line. And he does just that, but still Mickelmore closing up onto the back of Jones. So go a little bit further back down the pack here. Luke Trahere, Mark Johansson, Nathan Rawlock, Harry Anastakis, Matty Ray, as well as Ruben Phelps, all in a grouping here. You got Michael Skurlock down on the inside there as well. He is a lap down. And Lachlan Urquio in this battle pack as well. Ryan Jones retains the lead here. Still got Mickelmore right behind him, pressing him, probing, seeing what he can find out. Mickelmore there gets a good run out of that first turn. Rowdy, oh, Double D, just sticking with them here. Ed Foster looks like he's in a little bit of a battle at the moment. He's got Gary Wellman, who's got a little bit of pace now, running down the inside of him with Steve Williams and Ben Vickers, all putting the pressure on in this grouping. This is the battle for 9th through 12th. Continue to have a look at this little battle developing here. Because Michael Skurlock even a lap down. We got Trahere, Johansson, Raymond, Rawlock, Anastakis and Phelps in this battle pack, 15 through 20. You see they're good positions made by Johansson and Trahere. They've got some pace. Doing well. Johansson up 15 spots. Great effort from him so far. Have a look a little bit further forward. Riley Curtis currently up onto the back of Edward Foster, whose pace is dropping off a little bit here. Curtis up 22 positions. Currently running in 12th, and he is putting the curry on at the back of Edward Foster's 53 entry. Doing a cracking job as well. He's going to get the move done here down the inside. So he'll now be chasing down Vickers, Wellman and Williams in front of him. So look a little bit further up the field, back up to the front to this pack here, which is broadening. Ryan Jones gets down to the inner lane there. Dave Douglas has got the pressure on the 31 of Josh Mickelmore. Mickelmore's teammate Martin has just dropped off a little bit here. With 34 in, guys all pitted last on lap 11. So the tyres will have plateaued a little bit, and they'll be wanting to either make it through to that next flag green flag pit stop, or to make it through, I should say, to that the caution if it does come out. Hayden Schultz, they're just trying to make his way up onto the back of the battle pack that we're looking at the moment. He's got about half a second to get onto the back of Martin. He's just got to be careful. He's got Clark behind him, Nathan Clark and Jaden Russell. Trev's just jumped into the chat and said that Aiden's looking pacey tonight. Yeah, absolutely, Trev, he is. He was doing well in practice, and he's got a clean start here tonight, which has helped him a lot. So he's able to manage race a little bit more than in the past, where he's had to try and battle his way up from the midfield to the front, and got caught up in some bits and pieces. So he's looking for a good run tonight. He's just got to get back up onto the back of this pack here. He lost a little bit of time to them. You can see there's 3/10 behind Martin. He's got a good gap of half a second over Clark behind him. And I reckon we'll find him up in this pack before not too long. He's already closed the gap to Jason Martin in front. And keep working at it in the 52 Crank Esports entry. As always, Trev, thanks for joining the stream and having a watch. Josh doing well again tonight. Currently running in second and putting the pressure on to Ryan Jones. So it looks like he's going to get the move done here. Mickelmore down the inside of Ryan Jones. And he does, he closes that out, gets a really good run into turn 4. He'll probably close it out across the apron. Mind you, I haven't seen too many people making as much pace when they do cut down over that apron. And Mickelmore decides not to do that either. So just in the background there, you've got Martin, Douglas and Schultz now fighting away. Of course, this is for 3rd, 4th and 5th. And Aiden Schultz has a good run on here in the 52 Crank Esports entry. Gets down onto that low line. He's got Martin who wants to go with him. He's had to move up a little bit here. They're going to go 3 wide potentially out of the turn. Schultz just able to get back down onto that low line. Dave Douglas left a little bit high to dry. But as usual in this series, the racing's close and clean. That's what we love to see from Australia's premier oval track racing category for trucks, the ANZCAR Truck Series. We would expect nothing less. Now Aiden Schultz occupies 3rd position. He becomes the hunted as Nathan Clark makes a move down the inside of Jason Martin. Just throws the number 6 race wire entry down there and gets the job done. Great stuff as he closes up onto the back of Dave Douglas. So he's got a little bit of pace as well. Guys have been battling at the front. Probably suffering a little bit more for tyre deg than those behind them. These guys will be able to run a little longer on fuel. I said it during the pit stops that the likes of Dave Douglas and even Riley Curtis, who were up a number of positions before that caution period, that works tremendously in their favour. They're able to get a new fresh set of boots on the truck, refuel it, where they might have spent more than $1.50 trying to get their way up to the front. So I think Nathan Clark here benefiting from a little bit of that. He's got quite a bit of pace in that 6 race wire entry. There's Schultz now up on Ryan Jones. We all know Ryan doesn't leave any rubber on those tyres. He pushes as hard as he can all race long. So he might just be struggling a little bit. Aiden, of course, dropped back a few spots early on. After, I should say early on, he dropped back a few spots after getting up towards the front of this race. Might have just helped him manage those tyres a little better because he's got good pace again now, particularly over Ryan Jones, and in fact he is faster than Josh Mickelmore in front of him as well. Nathan Clark likewise, along with Jason Martin and Jaden Russell. So there's plenty of pace coming through here. You can see that just in the way that battle pack has formed. So let's drop back one here to Clark. just so we can keep an eye on this pack. Mickelmore out in the front, second away from the 4th place position. Clark at the moment. He's got a good gap over Schultz and Jones as well, as you can see it there as they come onto screen. 3/10 or so. In fact, it's more like 6/10 now. The real action here is back between those contending for positions 2 through 7. So certainly from here, if there is another stop to be made, a green flag stop, they'll make it home. So if there is or are even no further caution periods in this race, we'll see one more stop from each of these drivers. I don't think everyone can, or anyone can pull a Daiso, as it's surely been dubbed, and do a one-stop strategy, as he did at Nashville in the Cup last week. I think it was the Cup or maybe the Xfinity Series, but one of the main series up from this one. Dyson not running tonight. Big hello from us at FGM Cast, wherever you are, Daiso. Hope you're preparing yourself, mate, for the Xfinity and Cup Series later this week. Anyway, at the moment it is, you can see there, Josh Mickelmore, Mitch Motorsport entry out in front at the moment by himself. Just the elbow on the window stuff at the moment. Just cruising around. He's got 3/4 almost overshoots. Oh, it's in the background there. Ryan Jones goes around. That's going to pull a caution out for sure. And you can see there, Jonesy has lost the door on that 111 entry. I think we might as well, might also have well seen Nathan Clark go around in that, and that is going to bring out the caution. Second caution of the race. The entire field will most certainly trundle down pit lane when it opens, and we will see whether or not we can run from here to the end green. 45 laps through, and we're about to have our second caution period of the race. So probably plays well for Josh Mickelmore. He'll get a new set of boots, can try and extend the lead. Won't have to go through any battle packs or anything like that by it. He makes hay with the new tyres on that truck. He'll have Aiden Schultz to deal with on the restart with Dave Douglas and Jason Martin. Douglas will be behind Mickelmore, so Martin will be on the outside with Schultz. So not as strong a team position as they probably would like, but not the worst ever, that's for sure. So while we just get through this tranche of pit stops, going to have a couple of minute break, as you can understand. Running by myself tonight with plenty of action, lots of talking. I'm just going to have a quick quick spell, and we'll get back on with this one on the other side of this caution. Okay, as we get ready to go here, we've got Mickelmore and Schultz at the front. Mickelmore drops the hammer straight away, gets that out, and fast-running 31 Mitch Motorsport entry off into some space of its own. And Aidan Schultz has got Jason Martin behind him. Dave Douglas down the inside. Further back, you can see there Matty Raymond, Kate Donnelly, and Luke Trahere, if you don't mind, up into the top as well. So they benefited out of the pit stops. A lot of drivers doing a lot longer pit stops, bit of repair work, you'd think, or maybe some speeding into pit lane. Schultz here down on the inside of Dave Douglas. It's got Jason Martin, who's going with him as well, but it is Josh Mickelmore out in front. Schultz gets down to close the door there too. Jason Martin behind him, but Dave Douglas not quite letting him get away with that either. So Schultz there just dancing around about middle stump. But it's now started to sort itself out too. He's got some paces. Matty Raymond, he's just come blistering up the inside here. 18 spots for Mr. Sheen. He did stop as well, so he's just had a blinder. Just doing what he usually does, keeping the truck clean and getting involved in no incidents whatsoever. That thing's looking great. Luke Trahere there with the missing door, not really creating the aerodynamic drag you'd probably expect it to on one of these trucks, as he makes his way on down underneath on the inside there. In the way down entry, a 43 entry of Luke Trahere. Jaden Russell as well, looking quite pacey. He's now ducked down on the inside of Trahere, so it's 3 wide here through turn 2. Up at the front, you can see there's a battle. Schultz got a run on Mickelmore as well. Oh, it's down on the inside there. Matty Ray, he's gone right down into the wall. And that will be the end of his night for Mr. Sheen. Not able to keep it clean. The motor on the 83 entry has expired. So that is it for Matty Ray for the night. Such a shame too. He was up well and truly. And it will be Mickelmore who will retain the lead of this race. This will play well for Gary Wellman, who will get a lucky dog and unlap himself. So he'll get back onto the lead lap as a consequence of this. I don't imagine we'll see too many jumping into pit lane here, with it being only 5 laps since our last caution. So as usual, cautions breed cautions. But Mickelmore was under threat there a little bit from Schultz. Martin Douglas all getting around him. And not in the footy team sense either. So he was under pressure. Just managed to hold it out. So he retains the lead of this race as we go into our 3rd caution period of the evening. So back here, we're on board with Josh Mickelmore. So he's going to get us back underway here after our third caution of the evening. It is Mickelmore, Schultz, Douglas, Martin, Russell, Donnelly, Nathan Rawlock, Tristan Koch, Edward Foster and Ben Vickers inside our top 10. Nathan Rawlock, 20 spots for him in the 85 entry. Doing a cracking job. Equal with Riley Curtis on 20 positions up. Currently sitting in 14th. So Mickelmore there just gives it a little rev, clears the spark plugs out, gets it ready. So we're going to wait for this pace truck. We're going to ride on board with him. See him drop the hammer, see how he gets away as the pace truck comes in. So we're on board here with race leader Josh Mickelmore. When does he go? Keep an ear out. There it goes now. He's off and running. Lap 54 here of 80. How's everyone around him gone? I can tell you, they've gone with him. In fact, he's right out in front here. You've got Martin and Schultz behind him. Dave Douglas behind that as Jaden Russell gets a good run down the inside. Josh Mickelmore, cracking start for the Mitch Motorsport team there as he gets away and running in the 31. 26 to go here at Michigan. Schultz in third, all over the back of Martin trying to get it done. Dave Douglas on the higher line there. He's got Jaden Russell to contend with. Kate Donnelly having a good run, 14 spots up, 6th position. Nathan Rawlock behind him. Foster starting to make moves now with 26 to go. Unlikely to see any more stops from these drivers unless there is a late caution. Someone might throw in a new set to try and get an advantage here, but as Mitch Motorsport 1-2 as he crossed the line with 25 to go. Usual suspects of Mickelmore and Martin doing it well here for Mitch Motorsport, and Aiden Schultz there all on his lonesome in the Crank Esports entry, currently sitting in third position with Dave Douglas right behind him and Jaden Russell. They're all got the pace. You see as well there Edward Foster in the distance, the 85 of Nathan Rawlock. He's up right behind Jaden Russell as they try to make an impact on this front five. Change of cameras there, just catches us out. Let's switch out here so we can get a really good view of this. As you can see there, Nathan Rawlock just getting a little bit wide. Kate Donnelly's got Edward Foster as a permanent visitor to the tailgate of the back of that 40 entry, but it is still Josh Mickelmore, the lead of this race. Jaden Russell right down on the low line there, trying to see if he can get some pace into that 28 entry. Not quite able to get it done as he is battling now with Nathan Rawlock. Rawlock goes down the inside this time. And he's trying to close up onto Dave Douglas, who's making a nuisance of himself on the back of the Craig Esports entry of Aiden Schultz. Schultz now trying to get an overlap if he can, and he has done so onto Jason Martin. That 21 of Martin, he's going to be hung out a little bit to dry there. He's stuck up right behind Josh Mickelmore. Mickelmore won't be able to close down onto that low line. Schultz doing a good job getting just far enough up to close that out there. If he can keep the Crank Esports truck straight, which he has, Dave Douglas looks like he gets a little bit loose. But the 52 of Aiden Schultz gets a really good run. He's going to get through on Jason Martin here, and he's going to try and have to get up underneath Jaden. Josh Mickelmore, my apologies, not quite able to quite get there. Mickelmore could close down on him if he wants to. Not quite got the grip in the 31 to get that done though. He's still got his teammate right behind him. They'll try and push one another along as Schultz becomes the pioneer down on that low line. They've got a huge train of cars up on that top line. The 85 there of Nathan Rawlock getting a little bit loose as he gets a bit concerned about that air pocket near the wall. And now it just starts to separate out a little bit there. Foster down on the low line. You can see Schultz just pushing Douglas a little bit high there. All completely okay, but just moving him up to the wall there means that Douglas has to just try and control things a little bit there. He's on the back quarter of Jason Martin. That'll have the effect of making Martin a little bit loose. As you just see on the top there, I think that was Jaden Russell getting up into the walls. So Russell is out of this battle for the lead. It is two Mitch Motorsports boys, still the 31 and 21 of Mickelmore and Martin. Douglas right on their back bumper. Aiden Schultz has fallen away a little bit in this one. But we're just waiting to see how it fills out there. We're on with Jason Martin now. Jump back to Dave Douglas, who moves down on the inside of Martin. Just trying to figure out a way past these two motorsport entries. The boys driving really, really well, of course, as you'd expect. Dave Douglas on board now, up 11 positions. He's just calculating here. Just like that lady in the memes, just doing the numbers, working out his Pythagoras' theorem as he tries to make his way underneath. Need a bit of calculus here, of course, with the oval. Hayden Schultz not out of this one by any stretch of the imagination. 20 to go. Douglas here now being the aggressor on the back of the Mitch Motorsport entries. They have held off all comers to this point in the race. And certainly not something that we are unsure of here with the Mitch Motorsport boys. They will keep battling away at the front. The benefit of two fast drivers in these trucks at the front of this pack. Schultz, Douglas probably got to work together a little bit here. Rawlik in fifth, doing a great job in the 85 entry. His teammate Mr. Sheen not quite being so lucky tonight, not quite able to get through. As Kate Donnelly now goes down on the low line to try and get the job done on Rawlik. He's got a good run. I don't think he's going to be far enough up though to close Rawlik out. We have 1 second covering our top 10 cars, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very, very close race at the moment. It's going to be a really good finish for a second week in a row here in the ANZCAR Truck Series. Dave Douglas got a little loose there, just trying to keep the pace down on the exit of turn 2. Down into 3 here. He's underneath Martin. He's probably going to get the job done. In fact, he's got a good run on Mickelmore too. Just not quite able to hold it. Mickelmore getting some pace out of that top line. Douglas now pulls up next to him. In fact, tries to slot in there. Oh, gets real loose. Dave Douglas in the rowdy entry. The 199, what a big slide there. That cost Jason Martin some time. Allowed Hayden Schultz to make the run through. So Douglas there just gets the slide in, out and around. And just manages to hold on to it. Great driving there. Good driving from Jason Martin there as well to avoid it and just to allow for it. So Martin's dropped back to 4th now. It's Mickelmore, Schultz, Douglas, Martin is our top 4. Nathan Rawlik joins in the battle in 5 with Kate Donnelly right behind him. Tristan Cock, Edward Foster, Steve Williams, Riley Curtis rounding out our top 10. Now's that for Big Double D. Got a bit lucky there. Managed to catch it. He'll say it wasn't luck. He'll say it was skill, but we know better. Certainly luck. Those rear tyres will be whining a little bit. So just got to manage things for a lap or two while they get back to the right amount of heat as Hayden Schultz takes up the battle now on Josh Mickelmore. It's been a good drive from Schultz tonight. A return to form of sorts. As Dave Douglas now tries to get back down on the rear quarter of Hayden Schultz. He's right up behind him again. We're on the front of Dave Douglas here again. He's got the Crank Esports. You can see there, Virtual Motorsport Mentor sponsored entry of Hayden Schultz. Schultz is doing a good job. Could be just biding his time now. 16 to go. Manage the tyres. Think about those last 5 laps. There's no point in leading on lap 16 if you can't manage to carry it through to shouldn't say lap 16 with 16 to go. There's no point carrying that through with 1 to go if you're going to have no tyres left. However, Josh Mickelmore doing a great job at the front of this race as we expect to see. But Schultz now gets down underneath him on the entry into turn 3. Looks like he's going to close this one out, and it will be, I reckon, Schultz who's going to lead. He'll be our 5th leader for the race tonight. In fact, he is, but it's very, very close there. You can see it is 1/100th across the start-finish line, side by side here as we go through turn 1. Dave Douglas just managing things behind them at the moment, just probably watching to see how this plays out to some extent with Josh Mickelmore and Hayden Schultz fighting for the lead. He's got Jason Martin behind him with Kate Donnelly now dropping a little further back with Rawlik and Foster, Tristan Cock as well. Steve Williams joining that pack, but we've got 4 very fast drivers at the front here. Things were real close there with Donnelly, Rawlik and Foster. Rawlik just getting up. We're almost into the back of Kate Donnelly there. It's good to see him back up the front as well in the Simboys 40 entry. Rawlik's going to try to go round the outside. It's going to open the door for Foster. Rawlik just closes the gap a little bit there on Foster so he doesn't lose the spot. The move wasn't quite on for him there, but he gets back into position, doesn't drop a spot. Yeah, Foster's going to have to try again, but it is the 85 of Rawlik and Donnelly here battling away. This is currently for 5th and 6th. And you can see here as we go to our caution, Not even sure potentially who the cause that was. Let's jump back and see if we can have a look. And that's just not going to play with us tonight, so not too sure what the cause of that caution was. Can't even see anyone who's potentially come off. Mike Schroeder jumps into pit lane, so potentially it was him. I'll just try this again. You can see there a bit of damage on the Schroeder vehicle. Let's just go back and have a look. Oh, and in fact it was Luke Trahair. It was not. My apologies, Luke. It was not Luke Trahair. It was hard to see that car there. It was Ryan Jones with no panels on the car, who looks like he's just got up into Michael Skurlock, who's not had a great run in that 350 Castrol entry tonight. Fair bit of damage there to the back left quarter as well. So Ryan Jones, the cause of that one. And that 111 entry has a lot lighter load to carry around on it, but it is going to have some sort of drag, that's for sure. So we see now the whole field will file into pit lane here. We're going to have about 10 laps to go in this race. Once they get through this pit stop and the caution period, it's going to be one heck of a sprint race to the end. So don't go anywhere. Get back live. We're going to be live the whole way through, but we'll get back into it in about 2 laps time once these pit laps are made through. So back off and racing here with Josh Mickamore taking it away from Jason Martin, Dave Douglas and Edward Foster. Some changes there because of the pit lane strategies of the drivers. Edward Foster gets a good move up into third position in the FGM E-Cars entry, if you don't mind, with Josh Mickamore, Jason Martin, Mitch Motorsport 1-2 again. Foster's got a good run down the inside there as we've got 10 laps to go. He's trying to close out Dave Douglas in that high line. Aidan Schultz involved here as well, but it is still those Mitch Motorsport boys, 31-21, 1 and 2. Had a cracking race so far tonight as Aidan Schultz just gets down under the inside. That's not even possible. Down the inside of Edward Foster. He's got Dave Douglas to deal with his right on his rear bumper. This is where the battle is at the moment. Nakamura Martin moving away a little bit, so much at the front there. That's 53, 52 and the 199 battling for third place at the moment. They're closing up on to the back of the two Mitch Motorsport entries at the front of this field. As Schultz gets a little bit loose there. Foster will be a bit nervous about that on his inside. Got nowhere to go if that happens and gets loose. You can already see 53's got a nice big rub mark down on the inside of it there as well. So he'll be looking just to get some clean air here and get away, jump up onto the back of these leaders and potentially challenge with 9 to go here. They're all on fresh rubber. Everyone's stopped, so there's no excuses here at the start. As we've got 8 to go now. Nakamura Martin checking out a little bit at the front here. We have seen Nakamura be the bridesmaid for Martin during the ANZCAR season so far. So Nakamura here looking to get one back on his teammate. And Edward Foster now moving away. There's a little bit of some swervy action down the inside there. I think it might have been Dave Douglas. He's just got a little bit loose. And he's dropped right down now into this battle pack. Schultz has closed up onto the back of Edward Foster. We'll stick with this battle here as they try and make a move up onto the leaders. We get all coverage of all four here. Let's switch out camera so we can see a little bit more as Schultz now tries to get down the inside of Edward Foster going into one. And he gets it done as well. Martin Mickelmore working together as you'd expect the teammates to do. So it's left for Foster and Schultz to battle out for the minor placing. As they're too wide now. Foster tries to switch underneath Schultz. Trying to get the move done here. Looks like he might close him out there. Schultz run pretty high in that line. He's going to get the exit speed. Foster. And that moves him up into third position again now. As unbelievably, I think I just saw Ruben Phelps in half a Crank Esports car. I did. Currently running in 11th position. The car's had a nose job that would make Michael Jackson jealous. But he's currently running up into 11th position. So good job there from Ruben Phelps after that early setback. But Nakamura Martin doing a great job here. They've now opened up nearly a second on this pack behind them of Foster, Schultz, and now Riley Curtis joining the action. It's going to be 4 to go when we get past the start-finish line shortly. Steve Williams got back up. Kate Donnelly up 13 spots. Biggest mover, Tristan Koch and Brent Hobbs. They're both up 18 positions. And excuse me, apologies to Riley Curtis, 29 positions to join in with this top 5. What an amazing job he's done so far tonight. But Schultz now just opening up a little bit of a gap on Foster. So there's still 4 to go. Looks like it is going to be a Mitch Motorsport 1-2 unless some sort of tragedy occurs. Josh Mickelmore, Jason Martin in control here at Michigan. But Aidan Schultz currently in third position for Crank Esports to be his highest finish so far this season in any of the ANZCAR races, so he'll be absolutely wrapped. We'll just be looking to close this out. 3 to go now. Foster's 2 tenths behind. Curtis 3 tenths behind. Curtis has got some speed. He's closing in on the back of Foster. Foster now gets a good entry into turn 2. He's looking to try and grab some draft here if he can. To what extent? Get a little bit of a push along from Curtis. Grab onto the back of Schultz. try and make a charge. So we're going to get down to 2 to go. Kate Donnelly not out of this either. He's just jumping up onto the back, closing in on this battle for 4th. So this pack now develops into 4 cars. Any of them, 4 trucks even, any of them are able to finish in 3rd place. That's what we love about this category. Anyone can be a winner here with 2 laps to go. There's just a little bit of wall banging going on in the background there. I think it might have been Daniel Heddershee just getting into the wall. Hasn't called out a caution period, so we'll keep going green here as the 40 of Kate Donnelly tries to get down underneath in the Simboys entry. He's trying to make Riley Curtis's job a little bit harder. This will help Edward Foster out as he tries to close up onto the back of Aiden Schultz with 2 to go. In fact, it's going to be 1 to go this time around. It will be the white flag. What can Foster do here? Can he do anything, or will it be Crank Esports? Aiden Schultz taking out 3rd place here at Michigan. It is going to be Mickelmore and Martin 1 and 2. We know that much for sure. What can Foster do on this final lap to try and make it onto the top step of the podium? I have a feeling it's going to be a very close finish here for these final 4 drivers, trying to hunt down 4th or 3rd position, I should say. As Schultz tries to, Curtis tries to get down the inside of Foster. It looks like he's probably going to get that done. I think Aiden Schultz is going to get away with it here. He's going to run 3rd to head across the start finish line, and it is going to be Aiden Schultz who gets there. Josh Mickelmore, Jason Martin, and Aiden Schultz taking out the top 3 here at Michigan, with Edward Foster in 4th, 4 100ths ahead of Riley Curtis. Very fast charging and closing Riley Curtis there, up 29 positions in the race. An amazing job from him. To take nothing away from Josh Mickelmore, Jason Martin, Mitch Motorsport entry. Absolutely fantastic, faultless job from them tonight to take out the win here. As we see big celebrations here from Mickelmore in the Mitch Motorsport entry. Just trying to finish that motor off and celebrate well and truly here. So we'll have these drivers join us in the commentary box in a few moments. Let's have a look at the results from tonight. And as we all know, it was Josh Mickelmore taking out the win for Mitch Motorsport. Another win for him as he does a reverse lap round in the background there. Jason Martin currently in 2nd position. A great result for him as well, with Aiden Schultz in 3rd. We've got Ed Foster in 4th, Riley Curtis in 5th. Great result from Riley, their driver of the night, 29 spots up. Kate Donnelly in 6th, with Tristan Cock in 7th. We've got Steve Williams in 8th, James Robbie in 9th, and Dave Douglas rounding out our top 10 for the race here tonight at Michigan. And good race run. We did have just the 3 caution periods tonight, but even with those 3 cautions, we were neck and neck running for the entire evening, so a good result. Just waiting for the drivers here to jump into the booth. Josh Mickelmore, of course, still out in the car. We're joined by Jason Martin and Aiden Schultz. So we're joined in the booth by our driver, just waiting for Josh Mickelmore to get in out of the car. We'll have to dust the smoke off that one after the celebration we saw. But we are joined by Aidan Schultz and Jason Martin, third and second respectively tonight. Aidan Schultz, congratulations. A big return to the podium for you tonight, mate. Coming in third position in the Crank Esports 52 entry. You must be wrapped.
Yeah, stoked, Stuart. Thanks. It's been a long time between drinks. I'll give you the tip with the Black Cat that I've had. But tonight we came in with the mindset of just trying to keep it clean. We were lucky enough that we did have a quick truck through practice, and then we had a quick truck through qualifying. So track position obviously is key. We're up there with the good runners, and we had some great racing early. So yeah, all the way through the race, all I was thinking about was just try and be there for the end. The race doesn't start till the last 10, and that's exactly what we saw tonight.
Yeah, and you did a fantastic job with that. We saw you through the traffic and actually remarked that you were quite quick in practice and a good qualifying, which always helps to keep out of the damage generally that happens a little bit further back in the pack. We had a pretty clean race tonight, though. Those couple of cautions coming at a good time.
Yeah, they did, but at the same time, Joshy and Jason and all the other guys who were running in the top 6, 7, 8, we all pitted at the same time then, so it was the same for everybody. Unfortunately, Dave Douglas got a bit loose out of 2 there, I think, at one stage. There were a couple of incidents that happened, but that was my main mindset tonight, was to just keep it completely clean. I did try and go for the lead there a couple of times on Josh and Jace, but you got to know when your time's up, especially when they're working, and just to slip in behind. And I did that, and I think that worked well to get me on the podium tonight. Yeah,
absolutely. Sometimes better just to bank a good bag of points than to try and push the point and bag nothing at all. So, obviously, congratulations to you. A really good run and a welcome return to the podium for Crank Esports number 52. Obviously, get you to give a big shout out to your sponsors, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, Crank Esports, we had a bit of a change up in the team lately, which has been very unfortunate, but the first run out with Ruben tonight's been good. We did a little bit of practice, so obviously that has helped. iRace Designs, Virtual Motorsport Mentor, obviously you, Stuart, Carl, who I believe is not here tonight, and FGM eCast for putting on the broadcast. Appreciate it, and hopefully this is the first of a couple to come, because it's been a long time between drinks.
Absolutely, Aidan. Always good to have you up in the combox, mate, and well done for your third place tonight. On to look, we'll just do this one a little bit differently, I think, because it's getting to be a little bit more common that we see this happen. We've got the Mitch Motorsport boys here, Jason Martin, Josh Mickelmore, second and first tonight. Congratulations, gents.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, cheers, mate. That was a good, close race.
Yeah, absolutely. Not to take absolutely nothing away from your performance, Josh. A brilliant race run tonight. We'll start with you, Jason. Nice and close there. You got caught a little bit early on, slipped back a few spots, dropped down to, I think it was about 8th probably about mid-race there, but managed to fight your way back up to the front.
Yeah, I was trying to see if I could get that low line to work to try and make some passes that way, but yeah, it just wasn't working. The guys on the high side just had too much momentum on exit, and yeah, just couldn't make any moves down low, so I lost a few spots trying to make that move work.
Well, it's good to see you back up at the front of the field by the end of the race there, and as Aidan commented on, some nice close racing, some good passing up amongst a lot of the more experienced guys in the ANZCAR field, and it was probably good to get some close racing under your belt.
Yeah, that was good fun. There was some real good racing throughout that race with a bunch of different guys. So, yeah, that was good.
And Josh, you've managed to shake the bridesmaid moniker, mate. You've had a couple of wins now, and the Blue 31 starting to blaze a glory at the front of the field.
I'm getting sick of finishing second, man. It's good to get a few wins now. 3 wins in a couple of weeks. So, yeah, no, everything's going pretty cool. So, yeah, we'll just hopefully it keeps going and, have some fun.
Well, we always say it here in Carl, big advocate as well, that, Mitch Motorsport aren't going to be down the field for very long, and you guys are certainly proving it at the moment in the truck series, extremely strong. In fact, strong throughout all 3 series that we run here. I've got to ask you, which of the cars that we run, or the truck and the cars that we run, is your favourite, Josh?
My Cup car has always been my favourite car in the whole sim. for years, but at the moment, with the way everything is, the builds and stuff, the Xfinity car is probably the most fun car to drive at the moment. But yeah, the Cup car's probably still my favourite. But yeah.
And was that just because the Xfinity car's a bit tighter, a bit easier to drive, or a bit more fun to drive?
Well, the Xfinity car sort of drives like the old Cup cars sort of did back in 2015, 2016, and that sort of thing. And that I missed that Cup car back in those days, and it's sort of similar to that a little bit. So yeah.
Fair enough indeed. Well, as usual, it's great to see two teammates racing at the front, not just following one another around. And as usual, you guys put on a great show for us tonight with the swaps at the front. And I guess, Jason, your sponsors will probably be exactly the same. But, Jason, I don't know if you want to relent to Josh tonight to give the thanks to the sponsors on behalf of Mitch Motorsport.
Yeah, Josh can do it.
Go for it, Joshy.
All right. Just all the boys at Mitch Motorsports for all the hard work they've been doing lately. Hamish and Dan as well as Jace. My team sponsor, BK Designs. And you guys for putting on the broadcast, and ANZCAR for putting on all the 3 legs. Really enjoying it.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone that doesn't get much recognition at all. ANZCAR and the series organisers as well do a great job running this league that we don't mind saying is the best oval track organisers in the country. So I'm not sure they'll appreciate us continuing to spruik that, but we certainly believe it's the case. But no, thank you to them for putting on the series. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. And once again, to Mitch Motorsport 1-2 again here tonight. It's a familiar story for ANZCAR, and it is Mickelmore and Martin once again at the top of this with Aidan Schultz finishing third. Thanks very much for joining us in the Combox, gents.
Cheers, Stuart.
Thanks for having us.
And also well done to Schultzy tonight as well.
Well done to you too as well. It was great racing at the front, man. Well done. It was great racing, so great to be a part of it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely there. Good drive from Aidan in a return to form of sorts for the Crank Esports 52 entry as well. So not to overshadow that performance by any stretch of the imagination. That does wrap things up for us here tonight. We're back on Wednesday night with more of the Xfinity Thunder series, and I'm looking forward to bringing that one to you. Carl will be back with me then, so you won't have to listen to me so much, which will be probably a delight for most of you out there in the general public. But we will be back on Wednesday night, 7:45 here on FGME Cast, your place for pace. Of course, tomorrow night, our last Tuesday night off, Ozpass even have got the last of their qualifying races on tomorrow night before we get back into that one for Season 4. It's going to be an absolute ripper, so enjoy your last Tuesday off before you have to join us for that one, and we'll see you on Wednesday night, 7:45 here on FGME Cast. I'm Stuart Brown. Thanks for joining us tonight. We will see you then.